everyone, welcome to Pure Soul Coding. Today's DSA topic is on input and output in strings. So when we work with strings in C++, there are multiple ways to take input from the user for the strings. The first method is the cin, that stands for the console input. It is an object of iStream class that is defined in the IOStream library header file. Let's see the syntax that includes cin with a variable and an extraction operator in between. It is mainly used to extract the input from the input stream and store it into the variable. Now let's look at the definition, which states that cin reads until the first white space, that is space, tab or new line is detected. In short, we can say it only captures the first word and anything after the space is ignored. Now let's take an example. We declare a string variable name, and using the cin method, the user enters the input PREET. As we observe a space in between. Hence, the cin will read till the first word and ignore the rest. Hence, on printing, we get PREET. So in short, cin is good for single word inputs, but not ideal for full name, sentences with space, etc. Now to overcome this problem, we use getLine, in which we pass cin and variable as parameters in the getLine. So it reads the entire line including the space until we reach the new line character. So it is majorly used for full sentences, names, etc. Let's take a quick example. Here we declare a string full name. Now we use the getLine and pass the cin and variable that is full name in our case. So this getLine will take the console input from the user and store it into the variable full name until we get a new line character. Now the user input was PREET, nice weather. Now on printing, we get only PREET as an output, as nice weather was after the new line character, hence it was ignored by the getLine. Now if we use the method 1 to input something and then use another input call, the program will not function properly. So to evade the problem, we use cin.ignore after using cin. Now let's understand what is cin.ignore. Now let's understand what is and why do we need cin.ignore. Now cin.ignore is basically used to discard the leftover character present in the input buffer. So when we use the method 1, that was the cin variable, we observed that the new line character /n was left in the buffer. Hence, with the use of cin.ignore, we can empty the leftover by reading it and making our input buffer available for the input calls. Now if we observe the syntax of cin.ignore, we are passing n, that is the maximum number of characters to ignore. And the second parameter is the delimiter that tells where to stop ignoring process when this character is found. Now as seen in the example, we can where we pass 1000 characters to ignore with a delimiter that is the new line character. So whatever comes first, it will work accordingly. So by default, if we see, we have n as 1 and the delimiter as end of the file. Now let's see the difference of cin.ignore with and without in a program. Now if the user inputs 25 and then enters, the value 25 is read and stored in the age integer, but the input buffer still have a /n new line character in it due to the enter pressed by the user. And so when the getLine is called, the input buffer still consists of the leftover values. Hence the getLine will read that and store it into the name string, which will make the name string as an empty string. Whereas if we include the cin.ignore, so after the cin, it will flush the leftover new line character and make the input buffer empty and available for further use. Third method is cin.get, where we create a character variable and pass it to the cin.get. It reads single character including white space and new line character, whereas in the above two methods we saw cin reads till white space and the get line reads till the new line character. But this cin.get reads both. Hence, it can be used to create strings character by character at a time, and we can create our own custom delimiter. Let's take a quick example by using these properties. Here we declare a character ch and a paragraph string. With that, we take a while loop consisting of cin.get with a custom delimiter as $symbol. With every user input, ch is initialized with a new character and added to the string paragraph, character by character, till ch is not equal to the $symbol. Here the example input is preetpal $, hence the output will be preetpal. So with cin.get we can create big paragraphs, sentence, etc. by passing our own custom delimiter. So the fourth method is focused on C-style character array input than strings. Here we pass a character array and a max size as a parameter. So it reads the entire line and stores it into the character array and stops at a new line or max length that we passed as a parameter. Let's take a quick example, creating a character array of size 100 and using getLine and passing the array with 100 as a max length. As user inputs preetpal and enters, in our case the input is less than the max length mentioned, that was 100. Hence, new line character will be our delimiter at this case. Output on printing will be preetpal. The fifth method is using string stream that we will cover in the next video. In this video, we learned how we can take input and output in strings. First, by using cin that takes input till we reach space. Now to overcome the problem, we used getLine that reads space but stops at the new line character. Then we saw how it is important to include cin.ignore that was used to remove the leftover from the input buffer. Then we saw that how we can use cin.get for single character inputs. At the last, we saw the cin.getline used for C-style character arrays. That's all for today's video on string input and output in C++. In the next video, we will dive into string stream, a powerful tool for parsing and manipulating strings in C++, as it is super useful when working with sentences or converting between string and numbers. So make sure to check that out. Thank you for watching.